Welcome to another conversation over drinks. It's been so long since I've done this.
This is so good. This is the best. This is how I want to spend my Sunday.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
All right. So, fuck.
To talk about some uncomfortable things. Being held accountable to commitments that we make.
Yeah, or we could talk about how there's 5 seats in this hot tub and we chose the 3 seats closest to each other.
You bet. So, we talk about the discomfort of accountability. So, what is more uncomfortable than what we're doing right now is not showing up for you guys after we committed to.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge thing to talk about. Like, I'm not going to be able to do this, boys.
I appreciate you guys coming out today and kind of challenging yourselves and doing this. I know Kyle, you've been going to cryotherapy
A little bit, yeah.
and enjoying that. And Dylan, have you done a lot of cold exposure? Or?
Just shower stuff and stuff that when we first started a conversation over drinks to just standing outside in the minus fucking cold, shirtless and in trunks. And yeah, I can attest that the actual cold bath.
I'm going waist down, I think.
Waist down? Okay, no worries.
Are substantially colder than standing outside in minus 30. That is for sure.
Absolutely.
But on the first part of accountability, we had, as Nick said, a couple months ago, made the commitment to come and do this. Not necessarily in the tub. This just ended up working out fantastic. We were going to get our
for sanitary reasons.
Yeah.
I gotta drop the water every once in a while.
We were just going to get a whole bunch of basins, and but everything happens for a reason. We prolonged it through our own procrastination, so we can't actually attribute to that to something that is actually moving forward. We procrastinated, and then the opportunity presented itself. So now we're here, freezing our balls off and talking about
Quite literally.
the discomfort of staying committed to commitments that we make to ourselves.
And I think one of the things we talk about, like especially in coaching, right, is like we've touched on it before, accountability and the measures of that. Like you at work, Nick, you cover that a ton. I'm sure you got accountability measures everywhere.
Absolutely.
For us with accountability, like my clients hold me more accountable than anybody. Like if I'm going to have a conversation about getting up, getting to work and doing your shit, and I just spent 5 out of 7 days sleeping in, not doing my stuff, not eating, not whatever. Right. How the hell do I have that conversation in integrity?
Yeah.
Right? And crazy enough, so I did one of my best meal preps that I've done in probably a year, 2 years, last Sunday. Every one of my clients, without talking to me, without having that conversation, had a better week with their meals. So like you can't tell me that
you put that energy out there, man.
Right? And it's such an energy thing. But yeah, I'm sharing it on my stories and they're seeing it and those things. But like just live through that high integrity and that high frequency stuff. You put that energy out and like you're going to facilitate better results in the people around you, and having the accountability and having the like us, right? Like would I have ever shown up and sat in a hot cold tub?
Yeah, right.
Had we not made the commitment to each other to hold each other accountable, right? I got 3 texts from Dylan this week. We're still on for Sunday, yeah. And I was like, every single time I'm like, look at whoever I'm with. I was like, guess what I have to do on
Sunday? Most uncomfortable thing, maybe you'll do all week, but like you said, you're sharing your stories, sharing your successes, and sometimes we share our failures too, and people can build off that and find comfort in knowing that guys that are going out there and trying to create some positive content for people, to not necessarily look up to, but to look across and think you got somebody, brother, sister in arms that's struggling and battling through the same stuff, and then you can pull together and build each other up like that. And I think just doing this ice bath for me, the feel good feeling I get once I get out of here, this is no fun for anybody. This really, really fucking sucks. But the feeling we get from this, it's kind of like Kyle talking about the feeling that he got from doing the best meal prep he's done, and then building off of that, and
it's accomplishment.
Yeah,
accomplishment, and it's addictive. Accomplishment. We want to accomplish. The more we do, the more we want to do.
And it's so funny. Like the hardest thing that is ever going to happen with anything is starting. That's where procrastination comes in, because our procrastination pushes the start. Right, we're in it now, and like I already said, I was only going to go waist, and now we might even touch my nipples today. So we'll see. But like the whole thing that happens is you start and then you work your way into it, and then things continuously happen. And that's why, like, I know if we want to look at things on a week, like if your first day of the week training is a Monday, do not miss your Monday.
No.
Right? And like,
Never miss day one of your week, whether it's
Yeah.
a Sunday or a Monday.
or whatever
'Cause
day,
my
right?
days start on a Sunday, or my week starts
I've got
on
clients
Sundays.
whose rotations start on Thursday, so they're
Mine's
getting,
a Tuesday. Yeah, it's
they're getting a
interesting.
call on
Yeah.
Thursday, like, hey man, you ready for your workout tonight? How you feeling? What's up? And if they're
Yeah.
not feeling too good, and it's like an actual sickness thing or something's going on, I'll manually go in and adjust their workout for that night, but they're not missing Thursday night, because
Yeah.
your first inclination is, I'm not 100%. I'm gonna wait till I'm 100%. You're never gonna be 100%,
No.
right?
Well,
Like,
that
ever.
was, and that kind of, I was talking to a young fellow that was St. Patrick's Day. We were having a little workout in the garage, and it was the week before. I had a good buddy of mine, Trevor Boyce, came in.
Yep.
And we had a workout, and the night before, went and watched a hockey game, had a couple bevies, stayed up late, made the wrong choice of going through a drive-through, had some McDonald's. I haven't had McDonald's in over a year because I just don't eat it. But
I
you
did
know,
have a Shamrock Shake this week. I will.
you're right. You got it. But sometimes, you enjoy the moment, enjoy life. And the next day, I was running on 4 hours of sleep, probably a couple too many drinks, and some McDonald's in me. And, not traditional deadlift, but pulled 540 pounds off the ground. And that was a new
Fuck
PR for
yeah,
me,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was so proud of that moment. And I thought, how much better could have I done that, having maybe not done some of the things I had done within that 24-hour period. But that's irrelevant.
But would you have? Would you have? Because you went into that situation knowing, hey, I was lacking here,
I did
so
not
I
wanna
have
do
to
it.
put
Yeah.
100% extra effort in today. Whereas if you had a perfect day prior, do you think that you would have had that
Maybe.
mental kick in the ass that you would have the next day?
I had to show up. I had to show
Yeah,
up.
so you
I
knew you made that
'cause I had
commitment that you
fucked
did that.
up.
So
Yeah.
that
Or
shitty
I
day
felt that I
prior
fucked
up.
might
I
have
know.
been the driving force
So
to get you
previously, like when I used to drink and stuff more, it was always like, okay, so like if we go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we do nothing, right? Like, and I recently started taking on, like in the summers, there's drop-in hockey Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I went to a buddy's wedding last year. We were out in Huxley.
Yep.
And I slept in my car in the parking lot so I could wake up, drive, and make it to drop-in hockey Sunday morning because I got way too piled up. And that was, did my body like me for that?
Yeah.
No, probably not.
But I have to show up for myself in some way, right?
Yeah,
like
your
it's not,
team,
and it's not
you.
not the concept of like sweating it out or anything. It's literally like, okay, like you went and you had fun and you stole some fun from today, but you got to go earn what you're gonna go get.
That's right.
So I want to touch a little bit on that, even just with like the personal relationship with ourselves. The more commitments we make that we do not follow through with, we teach our subconscious that we can't trust ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's when we start moving forward with things and we start questioning our ability. Can we actually do this? Can I actually hit that PR?
Yeah.
We don't have those second guesses if we hadn't had a past of questioning ourselves because we didn't follow through with
And
commitments.
that's gonna fall
The
into your
more,
integrity,
yep,
right?
the
Like,
more commitments we follow through with, doesn't matter how small they are. Even if it's like, I'm going to go to bed tonight at 9 p.m. sharp. If we make that commitment and we follow through with that commitment, that's one more proof in our proof bank that we will be able to succeed at any other commitment we make in our life.
Commitment and showing up today.
Yep.
In itself, I think had we done this this cold exposure solo in our own areas, maybe you would have done a little bit of a shower. Maybe you would have gone and done some cryotherapy. You would have been in there for 3 to 5 minutes. You would have been in your shower for a couple minutes as well. But what we've accomplished today alone in itself, through camaraderie, through being here together, through this commitment that we made to each other, I'm just haphazarding a guess here, but some of us are going to start bridging the threshold of hypothermia pretty quick. We've been in here a while, so I'm pretty excited about that. You guys, I really appreciate you guys being here. But
100%.
and this conversation has been awesome. So let's go as long as we can. And
I mean, yeah.
and at the end, if you I know you said
I'm weaseling my way in here. We're good.
okay, because I'm putting my head in at the end, and I'd like to see you guys.
100%,
Let's
yeah.
get our heads in at the end. So anyway,
Absolutely. So I think one of the big things with integrity too is think of all the people that, like, we've all had people obviously coming in and out of our lives, right? And I know a lot of people that I have stand out, or even like sections of my life where I wasn't following through on my commitments. That's the most annoying thing, right? Like people that are always like, yeah, I'm in 100% and then never show up,
They never show up.
right? And
or
then
1 out of 10.
yeah, like why would you even take the energy to invite them to do things like that anymore? Or even with yourself, right? If you become that guy, you stop getting invited to things, you stop being connected to things, and then that starts to fall into, well, people don't want me around. And so, well, no, it's not that they don't want you around, it's that you just don't show up.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So
you've left enough evidence behind to show that it doesn't matter whether you're invited or not, you're not going to show up.
well, and that's just it. So it's not, and then they're like, why would I want to be around someone that doesn't show up?
No, that's
Right? So it's not even about that. It's like, if you're going to make a commitment, do it. And if you're going to say you're going to show up, do it. Like, unless obviously things happen every
That's
once in
right.
a while.
Of course.
But it's the same as anything, right? Like, if you're going to bet on sports and you're hitting under 50%, it's probably a good time to stop betting on sports.
That's right. And showing up just trickles in every aspect of your life, right? For me, it's, now I've got a 1.5-year-old son. I got to show up for him every single day.
100%,
I got to show up for my wife. We have my wife's half sister that lives with us. Got to show up for her. I got to show up for my job. I got to show up for all this stuff, right?
But who do you show up for before any of that?
For me, I got to show up.
Exactly.
I got to show up for me every day. I wake up in the morning, and I'm getting ready to jump in the shower, do whatever I'm going to do. There's always a mirror close by, and you look at yourself and realize that you woke up and you got to show up, right? Waking up is the greatest gift we can have, and it's
I
Exactly.
sent that. Well, you sent me that one this week. Or I think it was you or me, whatever.
Yeah.
But talking about like, was it? I can't remember who it was. But
is it getting $10 million and not waking up the next morning?
Exactly,
That's
right?
great. Yeah.
I sent it to both of you.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's a big one, right? But the concept is
Yeah.
like, you want all this shit,
Yeah,
but you're willing to forego all that if you just wake up again.
that's right.
So, but we wake up to what? Like, a lot of us,
Yeah.
right? Especially younger, like in your 20s, like Monday through Friday, you wake up to do nothing but maybe go to your job.
No.
And then you want to live for the weekend where
Begrudgingly.
you do nothing, right? Like, you're going to your job that you don't even like.
Yeah, that's right.
And like, I've even had a client who, when we started, he's like, oh, I don't know if I really like my job. And we worked together for 6 months, and he gives me a call. He's like, hey, I'm on a progression plan for promotion at work.
Nice.
I'm like,
That's awesome.
okay. Like, but it's the same thing. It's just switching the perspective and the integrity that you're living in. So you're showing up, and you get to show up, right? We've talked about this before. It's the language you use. I don't have to show up. I get to show up.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't have.
Yeah. I don't need to show up. I get to show up.
Yeah.
Because it's
Casting spells.
And that's your gratitude work too, right? Like, that's
Yep.
one of my pillars with everyone I work with. They have to do intentional gratitude. And like,
Yeah.
I've had guys be like, well, I'm not going to do that. I was like, cool, I'm not going to train you. So like,
it's a non-negotiable. It's not
Yeah.
up for discussion.
so you're telling me that your 3 to 5 minutes a day in a journal is not worth all the other stuff we've discussed today. And then they're like, okay, well, I'm just being a bit of a bitch. I was like, yeah, you are.
Yep.
Like, that's essentially what's happening. You're not willing to do that, and like, it's uncomfortable. And I've talked about this too with a couple of my friends that are more grown up, more religious and stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't really think about gratitude in the way that we do, because it's actually been programmed into things like prayer their entire life.
Yep.
So that's like intentional gratitude via
Yeah.
a religion discipline, but a lot of us don't have that. So when you start introducing gratitude, and another thing is like, what was it? Your brain's incapable of feeling gratitude and feeling anxiety at the same time.
Yep.
You can't do it.
Yep.
So if you're feeling extra anxious, guess what you should do?
Yep.
Yeah.
Feel gratitude.
Start-
get your ass out. in
Start being
nature.
grateful for some
Take
shit.
your
Yeah.
inventory on things to be grateful for.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right?
Even if it's down to, I have a favorite shirt, I have a favorite jacket, I have a car I get to put gas into. Even if it's not
I've
the
got a
car
cell
that you
phone.
want.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You get to
And
have a
drink
cell
fresh
phone.
water in the morning.
Yeah,
right?
fresh water. It's ridiculous. My favorite thing is, and I have had a couple people, and they never did become clients, but talking to them about gratitude, like, well, that's too woo-woo for me. It's like, is it? Do you like the way your life is going right now? Well, no. It's like, maybe you gotta do something different.
Yeah.
It's
Just
funny.
maybe.
I'll send you a whole podcast. It's literally all about gratitude. And the alternative side of like gratitude, when you start talking about negativity stuff, I listened to a whole 30-minute podcast. Ben Greenfield did a book on Fit Soul, which is all about spiritual fitness and stuff.
Yep.
Talks about your loneliness having more comorbidities than smoking.
I believe that.
Yeah.
So like,
Yep.
there's more negative effects to true loneliness than there is to smoking cigarettes.
Absolutely.
And like,
is.
Yeah.
think about that in the idea of like showing up to social things,
Yeah.
being a part of things with your friends, having a circle of people that you like, good people that are around that care about each other, and how important that is, because that is literally better for you than smoking is bad, and that's scientifically proven. So like,
Yeah.
and we all know smoking's bad for you, right? Like, that's not a debate.
No, that's right.
So it's like, these things are standing right in front of us, and we refuse to do it because why?
Yeah.
Takes a little bit of effort. It's a little bit uncomfortable, and admitting we were wrong, because there's a lot of stuff we think is right that is wrong. There's a lot of stuff I think is right that probably eventually I'm gonna have to admit is wrong.
Admitting, right and wrong too, kind of boils over into like the accountability thing that we were talking earlier too, being accountability for your actions, being accountable for the words you speak and say. And so a lot of that too, I think, transfers into just your day in, day out, the actions that people around you see. For me, it's my family, my work, family and friends, and you know, people that are following us on social media and seeing what we're up to, right? So to be accountable for what you say and how you say it is really important, and owning some of that stuff, because a lot of people
100%.
don't own it, right?
And I got into a nice chat last night about like kind of everything, right? All the stuff you're not supposed to talk about, philosophical stuff, political stuff, all this stuff, and I kind of got hard checked as I used something that provided an example but could have been done elsewhere and didn't take into account everybody that was in the room, and then it just wasn't received the way that it was meant to, and as a whole, just hard check for me. It's like, we need to, if we're going to have these discussions, if we're going to have these things, like, we do still need to be aware of who's around. And it's not like I know, like, Dylan's like, don't censor, get after it.
Let's go.
Feelings don't matter.
Yeah.
But if you're having a discussion that needs to be reached or understood, or you're trying to share ideas
tactfully,
tactfully
form your
things. And if you can
thoughts.
utilize something that's going to be better received, why not?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm also like, those conversations. It's just like in one of our previous episodes of should we be having this conversation. When I have those conversations of like, I'm going to drop a bomb right here, and I really don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
I'm also willing and waiting to receive an opposing message to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see your point of view. I see where you come from with that.
Yeah.
So I come from both sides, but like,
Right.
there are some things where it's a non-negotiable argument.
But
Things
even
like gratitude,
yeah.
it's a non-negotiable. I'm not
Yeah.
arguing with anyone over. You don't
No.
think gratitude is important? Fuck yourself.
Well,
but
and
you're
that's
willing.
the thing we've had, right? Like, if you can't have a discussion unless you're willing to, like, basically, you get to a point where you're not willing to accept an alternative.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, gratitude. I'm not willing to accept someone that comes in is like, you don't have to be grateful for shit. It's like, well, that's wrong. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, that's
Yeah.
not a conversation I'm willing to have, because
No.
it's just not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But
And-
by putting yourself out there, you're willing to accept the fact that some people are gonna see differently,
Yeah.
and the only reason why you're putting yourself out there,
Yep.
you guys do your podcast and you guys do your discussions, is because you're willing to accept that there's people out there that, you know, haters, trolls, whatever you want to call them, are gonna jump on and are gonna say, hey, you're completely wrong about this. Whether you choose to have that conversation at that point or not, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But you're
Yep.
at least you guys are willing to put yourselves out there. I think a lot of people, you know, are very scared and timid in this day and age because of the way information is shared.
Yep.
And then you're just so cautious to put out some of the information, some of the stuff that you think that comes through your head, because you're like, oh man, somebody could really tear me to shred or roast me on this.
I think on that too. It's
I
so
used to do it
funny.
all the
Like,
time.
I have, you have what, like a circle of friends that consists of like maybe 10 people, like actual friends.
me too.
Me,
more or less.
actually, yeah.
You're right. Like,
Well,
say 10.
I'd say
Like 10's a pretty like liberal number too,
Yeah,
as well,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, but we're so afraid to have an opinion and get ripped on by a couple hundred people. Like, who cares, right?
Yeah.
If we've already admitted our circle consists of 10 people plus coworkers and acquaintances, maybe 100 people max, and we're worried about what the rest of the world thinks.
Yeah.
Like, you're,
Some dude that's on the internet across the country.
yeah, like,
right.
we're not doing this because we're trying to go viral. We don't want everyone to sit there and talk to us, right? We're doing this because it's fun. Like, we get to do stuff like this,
Yeah.
which I'm not doing on a regular basis. So, like, why wouldn't we want to do stuff like this? And the more people we talk to that lack things like camaraderie
Yeah.
and like guy time, anything like
Yeah.
that. Like, one of the first posts I made when I started coaching was talking about intentional guy time and why it's so important. And like, again, we took a lot of that for granted via sport. And there's a
Yeah.
big history, like people that quit sports, or like they're in their last year of college, they quit sports, they no longer have a team. They lose that piece. It's a piece of their identity. They spiral into things. They start chasing camaraderie elsewhere, which often is your party scene
Yeah.
and things like that. And it leads to a lot of bad things. And there is a lot of data on a really bunch of rough years post athletics for athletes.
Building camaraderie, it's important to show up for ourselves in that, and keeping those commitments. Yeah, the rest of my body actually is fine. I could probably stay in here for a long time, other than my hands
Yeah.
are done.
I'm surprised you guys. A lot of people just kind of hold their hands out. I should have probably mentioned that at the beginning.
I usually do no
Sorry.
pits. Like, getting my armpits in
Yeah.
is a big deal for me.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think? Should we? Is this we're getting close to a wrap here?
Yeah,
I
we
think
can
so.
we can get our dunk in. I mean, we can hammer on this stuff all day, but
Yeah.
like accountability, holding yourself accountable, holding your circle accountable to integrity, right?
Yeah.
Like, if someone flakes 10 out of 10 times, tell them they're being a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
Like that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Right. Like
And if that person's not okay with you telling them that, then maybe that's
a them
not the
problem.
right- that's
they
not
will
a-
be
yeah.
eventually, right? Eventually they're going to realize like, oh, maybe I made a couple commitments I probably shouldn't have made. Because it's better for you to be like, hey, I'm not going to show up because of this, than I'm going to show up and not show up.
Yeah.
100%. Like act with that integrity, and everyone around you is going to be more able to gravitate that way. So can't wait to do meal prep today.
Today.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
I think-
my tomorrow. I gotta go pick up my beef.
Monday's your day, right? Yeah.
Dylan, you've got to work out after this. I think I'm going to work out after this. So we're still got a long day ahead of us. And
Yep.
last but not least, I'm just going to grab my little
Ice
hat
cube
here.
there? You grabbing
No.
an ice cube?
No, I'm grabbing this hat here.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I was
So
like, why are you bringing more cold?
I did talk to the boys, and we're going to do a quick shout out to Johnny Lee and the boys, Red Deer Rustlers. They're
100%.
playing tonight at in Penhold at the Penhold Multiplex. 4:30 puck drop. So just a big night for them in the series. It's Game 4, and we wish you guys all the best of the luck. And
Speaking of camaraderie, right?
yeah, that's right. Just being there for your friends and family and stuff.
100%. Never let it go.
Yeah. So
All right. Good luck, boys.
here we
Good luck,
go.
Johnny.
We're going under.
I don't want
Yeah,
to.
we are.
Oh God, how are we gonna do this all together?
We're not small.
We're just gonna go right back.
I'm going sideways. Like
So you're going sideways.
I'm probably just gonna sink.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, guys, today. Have a great day.
I love that.
Cheers.